Okay, hi everyone. Today I'm going to unbox this new Fujifilm model, 7th of January today. These cameras and lenses will be released later on this month, so we are recording this ahead of time. So as an ex-photographer, I've been provided with test sets, mainly to touch and try and to know what these new cameras are about. So I've cheated a bit. I've taken the XE4 and the 27mm out on the streets just to try how it works. So I've sort of re-wrapped this back, and but these ones I haven't opened yet. So let's do it now. Okay, my wrapping back of the camera gear is not very precise. So I've actually put on the strap already. I've got a black version of the XE4. USB-C to USB plug, and then this is the lens hood. So I'm just going to put the accessories aside, and I will bring in the XE3 now, blast from the past. I was testing out and I did a video on this version as well. The XE3 and the XE4 are quite different. It's very squarish. It doesn't have that curve. It's actually got a grip, but the XE4 doesn't. It's been pared down to being extremely minimalist, but at the same time it's got a flip screen at the back, so you can flip it open. Can you pull it out? No, or you can pull it out. So this works quite similar to the XT4. Yeah, so you can do a selfie by flipping this and just, clicking it like that, and just press the top button, and then it triggers out the ISO. I always am on manual, so this is my quickest way to access ISO. Q button. Interestingly enough, the XE3 had the buttons at the side, so the Q button is actually on top now, and the Q button brings you to all the custom settings that you can work on. Play button has moved up. So here, play and delete. They've changed the ergonomics of this a little. I think some people may have an issue that there's no longer a grip. I don't mind it because it's such a small camera, and there's enough space for my hands to go around it anyway. Okay, now let's unbox the 27mm. Again, I've cheated, so I've actually played around with this already. So I'm pulling out the 27mm Pancake lens. This is how the lens looks. It's super tiny, so it's very slim. I'm going to show you some pictures that I took of the lens and pictures with the lens. 2.8 to 16. It's weather resistant. It's an update of the older 27mm lens, which I haven't had the chance to try. I'm not so familiar with this focal length, primarily because I'm using the 23 or the 35, so I've totally skipped this. When I fit it on the XE4, I think it's a perfect match. What do you think? I love it in the light. So if I'm gonna add the lens hood on, just so that I won't, like accidentally touch, or just to get rid of flare because it's quite wide, you have this cap over here. So it looks very vintage, old school. So I like how, like squarish all the surfaces are. If I'm going to take this one out and just use the cap, both are reasonable. The XE3 actually looks a lot more modern. The XE4 is a throwback to, like vintage times. Now I will actually try the XE4 with the f2 lenses. I have here the 50mm f2. So if you're not going for like the street look, or you're not using primarily on the street, and you're going to say shoot a portrait of your friends while traveling, so this is how it's decent, isn't it? It pairs really well with all the f2 lenses. I call it the baby lens. For the f2s, if I'm not wrong, the 50mm is the longest. I'm going to pair it now with my favorite lens, which is the 35 1.4. This would be the 50mm equivalent for people who like to use full frame as the be-all and end-all. If you pair it with the 35 f2, it would be much smaller. Amazing, isn't it? I love the square hood. Alright, that's what we have.